Unit 8. Listening 1. C. Listen to the first part of the talk and complete the table. Write no more than 2 words or a number for each answer. Good morning again. I realise a few of you aren't here yet, but I'll make a start anyway. I'm going to talk this morning about an important aspect of history, and that is how history is recorded, and how the way we record history has changed over the centuries. I'll talk about how the storytelling of primitive man has developed into the modern methods of communication that we have today. I've got some images that I'll show you as I talk, so just let me turn on the PowerPoint. Okay, now, man has been on Earth for something like 200,000 years, and we don't really know when man first used language to communicate. But we do know that as soon as man did have language, he used it to tell stories. Now, these stories were the first example of man recording his history. The stories were passed on from one generation to the next, and children would have known something about the people that came before them. One problem, of course, with a spoken history is that it's unreliable. The storyteller forgets facts and adds elements to the story that might not have been true. The earliest attempts to record day-to-day life in anything other than spoken language were around 32,000 years ago. That is when we believe the first cave paintings were made. Now, it might be that cave paintings were not an attempt to record history at all. The most common images in cave paintings are large wild animals, so perhaps man made them to bring him luck when he was hunting. They might have simply decorated his living space. Whatever they were for, they certainly are a record, and they tell us a great deal about how people so long ago lived their lives. Many people believe that history really began when man learnt to write down information, and for that reason, we say that what came before man could write is prehistoric. However, you should remember that we have learnt a great deal from people in many parts of the world who could not write. The first people to record experience in written form were the Egyptians. Around 5,000 years ago, that's 3000 BC, the Egyptians used hieroglyphics, a system of symbols and sounds to record beliefs and events on the walls of their temples and on their monuments. Who knows if this was an attempt to leave something for future generations to understand? The word history comes from Greek, and it is the people of ancient Greece who, in around 500 BC, really began the long tradition of writing down everything that happened for future generations to read. In ancient Greece lived the first historians, the first people whose job was to record history.